Good morning, students. Today I will describe the main Indian rivers, the Brahmaputra and the peninsular rivers of India. First of all, Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra river rises from the east of Mansarovar Lake. Here is Mansarovar Lake. And Brahmaputra river rises from east of Mansarovar Lake in Tibet. Here it is known as Sangpo. This river runs parallel to the Himalayas mountain, and at the place of Namcha Barwa it takes a U-turn and enters in India through the state of Arunachal Pradesh. In Arunachal Pradesh, this river is known as Dihang. By which name? Dihang. And the main tributaries of this river are Dibang and Lohit. It is known as Dihang in Arunachal Pradesh and then joined by rivers Dibang and Lohit. The total length of Brahmaputra river is 2900 km. In Tibet, it carries a smaller volume of silt as it is cold and dry area. In India, it passes through a region of high rainfall. Here the river carries a large volume of water and considerable amount of silt. In part of Tibet, because it is cold region, here amount of silt is very less. But when it enters in India, in Arunachal Pradesh, their erosional activity is too much, and in this region, due to heavy rainfall, this river carries huge volume of water and considerable amount of silt. The Brahmaputra has a braided channel in the entire length in Assam and form many riverine islands. What is braided channel? Braided stream. Braided stream. What is braided stream? Suppose this is a river and there is presence of sandbars and islands. So river divide into many converging and diverging channels. This is known as braided stream. Due to the presence of sandbars and islands, the river is divided into many converging and diverging channels, that is known as braided stream. Yes. And form many riverine islands. Second one, riverine islands. What are riverine islands? The islands within the river which are formed due to sandbars. They are known as riverine islands. Every year, during the rainy season, the Brahmaputra river overflows its banks, causing widespread devastation due to floods in Assam and Bangladesh. Next, peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers. The main peninsular rivers are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Narmada and Tapi. These rivers, which originate from the Western Ghat and flow in Bay of Bengal, they form large deltas. But these two rivers, Narmada and Tapi, don't form deltas, they make estuaries. About delta, you know, a triangular deposition formed at the mouth of the river, that is known as delta. While estuary is a semi-enclosed coastal body of water in which river water is mixed with sea water. In delta, sediments are deposited, but in estuaries, because sediments are not deposited, those sediments are washed by the high tides, so mouth of the river is always clear. First of all, I tell you main features of Narmada river. Narmada river rises in the Amarkantak hills in Madhya Pradesh. From Amarkantak hills of Madhya Pradesh, it flowed towards the west in a rift valley. Rift Valley. What is Rift Valley? Due to the faulting process, when a part of rock sink down, in this way Rift Valley is formed. Like, due to faulting process, when part of a rock sink down, in this way Rift Valley is formed. Like, the area between the Satpura range and Vindhya range is a Rift Valley. River Narmada flows through a Rift Valley. The marble rocks near Jabalpur, where the Narmada flows through a deep gorge, and the Dhar Falls, where the river plunges over steep rocks, are some of the notable ones. The tributaries of Narmada are very short. The Narmada basin covers parts of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. After Narmada, Tapi. The length of Tapi is 724 km. Length of Narmada is 1312 km and length of Tapi is 724 km. It rises from the Satpura ranges in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. It also flows in a Rift Valley parallel to Narmada, but it is much shorter in length. It covers the part of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Next, Godavari River. Godavari River is the largest peninsular river of India. Length of this river is 1465 km. Because of its length, it is also known as Dakshin Ganga, Ganga of South India. It rises from the slopes of the Western Ghats in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. It drains into Bay of Bengal. Its drainage basin is the largest among the peninsular rivers because it is the longest river in southern India, so its drainage basin is also larger. Its basin covers parts of Maharashtra, about 50%, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. The Godavari is joined by a number of tributaries like Purna, Vardha, Pranhita, Majra, Vainganga and Panganga. After Godavari, Mahanadi. Length of Mahanadi is 900 km. Mahanadi rises in the highlands of Chhattisgarh. It rises from the highlands of Chhattisgarh, then flow towards east and fall into Bay of Bengal. Its drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. After it, Krishna River. The length of Krishna River is 1400 km. It rises from a spring near Mahabaleshwar. And its main tributaries are Tungabhadra, Koyna, Ghadprabha, Musi and Bhima. I have not located all these tributaries because you should have knowledge only about these main rivers. There is no need to locate the tributaries, you have to just learn their names. Its drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. After it, Kaveri River. Kaveri River is 805 km long. It rises from the Brahmagiri range in the Western Ghats and fall into Bay of Bengal. Its main tributaries are Amravati, Bhavani, Hemavati and Kabini, and it drains parts of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The river Kaveri makes the second biggest waterfall in India, known as Jog Fall. The hydroelectric power generated from this fall is supplied to Mysore, Bangalore from the Kolar gold field.